Welcome, everybody. I think it's, I don't know, Double Deuce episode there, YMZ. My name is Tim Malone, one of the hosts of Earworm, and my young master friend here, Zachary, is also a co-host. Zach, say hi to everybody.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to do like a weird off the cuff episode, in my opinion, because I brought it up last week. Uh, Dead Milkmen, a band from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The founder, lead singer, is from Chester County. But I just, off the cuff, like I said earlier, just was like, all right, man, we got to do this. So, Zach, you said with your research, and we do our research about bands from each other and heck, ourselves. And our show talks about like I don't know, songs and bands and even genres of music that have influenced us in our lives. Zach, you know what? If, in a strange sort of way, it is my week in reference to the band and a song I like to talk about. I'm going to let you kick it off, you knucklehead.
Okay.
Zach?
So Dead Milkmen, you said this is one that we have to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
right? Quote you. Um, okay, I'll get it. I'll throw you a bone here. They're from Philly,
Yep.
1983, punk rock scene. Um, I'm struggling to find anything else that we have to talk about this band, Timmy. These guys stink.
Okay, so they describe this band out of Philadelphia. They started down in Chester County. A bunch of different weird stuff happened. But me growing up and starting to go with my buddies out to the Theater of Living Arts, the TLA, to the Tower Theater in Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. I mean, they played at this freaking Spectrum at times, and I had
Stop.
seen.
Stop.
Go ahead.
No, they didn't get to that. They didn't get that big. Are you kidding me?
They opened up for some bands at the Spectrum.
Who didn't they? I didn't look into this because honestly, all right.
Okay, give me the
I told
goods.
you we were
Give me the
getting
goods.
we were going to get into a fight. I hope I never listen to these fucking guys ever again. All right. Who 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 did these guys open for? Who
So
said to them, "Yeah, I would love for you to open for me to make me look better"? Who opened for them?
So,
Or who
oh,
did
who
they
they
open for?
open for? So they were on the Warp Tour. They were on all these
Okay,
different,
everybody was on the Warped Tour.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So they opened up for Iggy Pop. They opened up for Iggy Pop was the big one. The one that I remember is they opened up for Iggy Pop at the freaking at the Tower Theater. They played the Spectrum many times, and I saw it. And I didn't even look into it specifically. And all right, you're gonna research while I'm researching. And then they had an international hit that was described, and Punk Rock Girl was enormous, and that was the song that we wanted that I wanted to talk about this week. It was like everywhere. It was on MTV. They talk about Zipperhead. If you don't know what Zipperheads is or Zipperhead is, we're gonna have like a definite argument, by the way.
Okay. So all right. I took four songs. I wrote extensive notes here at him. So Punk Rock Girl was number two on my list. Can I start with number one?
Hmm. Go ahead.
Number one from the first album, Eat Your Paisley,
Hmm.
the thing that only hippies eat. I will tell you, the drums, the guitar, very good. The vocals put a bullet in my head. I never
Okay.
want to
All right.
hear. Oh,
Okay. Okay. Let's take a step back. And first of all, I found it. And it was kind of funny. They were like there was like two or three opening bands for Depeche Mode in circa like 1983, 84 time frame, and they opened up. because they're a local Philly band. They opened up for Depeche Mode at the Spectrum, and you know what the Spectrum was or is, or I don't know. You can qualify it
The
under the
greatest
verbiage.
venues, stadiums
Okay, so
in American history.
they opened up for Depeche Mode, and so I mean they were a Philly band, and it was like I would go to the Tower Theater, I'd go to the TLA, I'd go to other venues in Philadelphia, and no one was surprised to hear that Dead Milkmen were open up. They were like an opening band. Okay, so they came out with. I mean, I think they only have like 3 or 4 albums in their entire like career.
The
The
Dead
leads,
Milkmen,
yeah, they only have like 3 or 4 albums.
they they went from hold on 83 to 95, and then they came back in like '04, and then
It's,
they're still going.
they had 13 years off where they didn't do anything.
Okay. Oh, so you're talking like prime time.
Yes.
They got the 5 albums or so, and then they just
Yeah, their first
which
album was Big Lizard in My Backyard. And Big Lizard in My Backyard. These guys were really bizarre. Okay, Zach, you gotta bear with me here. And
I'm
then
trying.
one of the things that you probably in agreement with me, like I'm a huge punk rock guy, and you go to like research about these guys, and they were described early on as hardcore punk. Okay, first of all, they were not hardcore
They
punk.
they're not. No,
No,
that
no,
I
they
didn't
were
I didn't see that anywhere actually.
the
So going back to when the old days
from
when
my time, from
when
my childhood, you bastard. All
when
right,
you were listening
now
to
we're getting into it.
them, was it like hardcore punk rock back then? I
No,
guess.
because even their most hardcore air quotes song was "Bitchin' Camaro." Bitchin' Camaro, bitchin' Camaro, bitchin' Camaro. And it was so East Coasty. Like maybe it approached the hardcore version from down in like DC and the like. But like hardcore was coming like when I think of hardcore, I think like Black Flag. Would you
Okay,
agree? Okay, I
I get
mean,
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And then Agnostic Front, maybe from like New York and the like, and um, uh, another State of Mind from the DC guys. I can't remember the name of the band, but these guys weren't, and they got to a point where they were so goofy, and everybody expected the goofiness of this freaking band, and they were. I'm a little older than you, like I tell everybody on a regular basis. They were known to be a Philly band. I mean, like I said, they played on the Vans Warped Tour and all this other. I'm like, ah.
Well, yeah,
But
you listen to, I mean, what is it, Punk Rock Girl? Like
yeah,
that is,
okay.
dude, it's one of the cringiest songs I've ever heard, but it's very Philly oriented.
Make me, it's out to make of good girls, you and me, punk rock girl. All right, stop making fun of me.
Dude, I, I gotta tell you, I spent 2 days listening to these guys,
Hmm.
and again, I'll say it, I don't ever want to listen to them again. This is so I looked up the same. So they're not the hardcore
No,
punk rock or whatever.
absolutely not.
To me, they're not even punk rock. They're like ska. It's a
Above and
very
beyond that,
ska sound.
above and beyond that, they're like a goofy version of all those sounds you just described, all those, genres you
Yes,
described.
they're punk. So it's punk rock because of the whoever the asshole is that's on the vocals. That's why it's punk rock. But the background is very ska. And I looked into different bands at that time. You got No Effects, No Doubt. Like you got all Less Than Jake came shortly after them.
Yeah.
Like I don't were the drugs great? when these guys were out? Like, why did these guys get to commercial success? I
Dude,
don't, I
okay,
fucking hate these guys.
you're so much younger than me. Punk Rock Girl was such a big hit in Philadelphia, and
Oh my God.
people can like so here is a what is a described by like in internet search as a hardcore punk band. They're not. I mean, Bitch and Camaro is their closest attempt to, and Bitch and Camaro was everywhere when I was like a young high schooler. So Punk Rock Girl is this weird, goofy version of like ska, and it was all over the place because they talked about I took there one Saturday I took a walk their Zipperheads, and Zipperheads was this like, oh my gosh, this huge place on South Street, and it was kind of
It's a
neat.
punk rock like store down in
Yes,
South Street, isn't it? And it's
yeah,
got like a little zipper on thing.
and spiders all over the
Is it
facade.
still
And
there?
I
I
think
try to avoid South Street, so
I mean, because South Street has gone like this. It's like it was really cool and hipster, and then they're like, oh my God, roll them up, and then again, and they started coming back a little bit, and that's where theater, living arts are. But in my generation, at my age, when I was going out to a Philly band, it was like I would even say it doesn't have to be ska, punk, hardcore. If there's an alternative band, like here we go. Depeche Mode was kind of quasi alternative at the time in the 80s. And you expected, like, it was like one, two, or three opening bands. You're in Philly, you're going to see the Dead Milkmen. And they opened, oh my gosh, I just thought of a bunch of bands. They opened up for the Replacements. Everybody knows, our listeners and viewers, one of my favorite bands of all time. They opened up for Iggy Pop, an unbelievable all-star Hall of Fame punk rock guy from New York. They opened up for they were the first band to open up for Jane's Addiction, and everybody needs to research, including you, young Master Zachary. Jane's Addiction playing back in the 80s. Jane's Addiction's a huge band. I don't care what anybody says. At the Tower Theater when they were like burning their tour bus down because they ended the show early. Like it was just assumed, like, all right, we're gonna go see Dead Milkmen. And you're not old enough to remember, but these guys, they were, I mean, the guy, I think his name is Joe, the lead singer. He was kind of, yeah, Joe Gennaro. He was,
Joe.
yeah, he was
He's on my
like,
notes. He's on my notes.
yeah, he was like goofy and kind of a showman, and he'd like
No
sit there and
shit.
I tell you right now, he was like telling jokes, and he was playful, and he knew how. The big takeaway from these guys is they didn't care, in my opinion. They were just freaking goofy. They would occasionally play like Bitch and Camaro, quite honestly, Zach, to make fun of themselves. Like, Bitch and Camaro,
No, there's making fun of yourselves, and that this at a point sounded like the Eagles' Christmas album, like a bunch of linemen that have no business being in the music that, and they said, "Yo, let's jump in the booth." Actually, funny, Kate, hold on, let me see if this comes in. Kate said, "All my Jimmy Neutron fans." Let me see if I can pull this one up real quick. You remember Bowlby?
Bowlby.
You ever watch Jimmy Neutron?
I mean, vaguely, maybe like identified it. I visually, I could say, oh yeah, I remember that. But
Oh, here we go. Let's see if it.
you should share that everybody when you produce
Clap, clap,
this.
clap. Slap, slap, slap. Clap, clap, clap. Slap, slap, slap. Clap, clap, clap. That's what this sounds like to me.
You have such a good
That's what
voice,
this
man.
sounds
You
like.
need to
This
do this
sounds like
again.
a fun.
You have such a good voice.
You want me to do it again?
No.
Oh, stand. Oh, I don't have pants on. Hold on, back up. Slap, slap, slap. Oh, I fucked it up. Slap, slap, slap. Clap, clap, clap. Slap, slap, slap. Clap, clap, clap. That is the Dead Milkmen. But also, when you say they opened for Jane's Addiction,
Yes.
These guys are cheap.
How?
Jane's Addiction probably said, "Yo, you guys want $20? We need an opener. Come on. We don't give a shit who it is."
Okay, so in my
Good
opinion,
grief. Oh my God.
in my opinion, it seems like with these guys, they didn't give a crap. Like
There,
their
there's
video.
a giving a shit and there's a making fun of yourselves and people look like I don't understand how people at that time listened to this shit and they were like, yo, this is a banger. This is great.
Okay,
I love it.
okay. That was never said about them. I'm telling you right now, the in the history of humanity in like the
Well,
80s and
no, not
90s.
to a T, but come on,
Oh,
this song's great.
I'll tell you right now, Punk Rock Girl. It was like there's like 200 popular songs at the time, and internationally they were 110. And it was a video on MTV that was very popular. Like, 120 minutes was huge in like the early 90s, late 80s. Dude, they talked about zipper heads. They like it. Oh my,
Again, they just cool. They talked about a store on South Street. Dude, this song again, bullet to the head. Take the lyrics out. Just let me listen to the guys behind. Let me listen to the guys play their music and just take the guy out in the my God.
Joe Gennaro, yeah, he's kind of annoying. And I remember seeing him at like at the at a couple different venues. The TLA, I was like, I like went away, walked back to the second floor bar. I'm like, I'm not listening to these guys again. But I saw him at the Tower, and they when they opened up, it was like the first band to open up for Iggy Pop, and it was kind of fun. There was a lot of Philly people there, like Upper Darby people and stuff like that. Hashtag Delco, yo. But dude, it was like experiential. I'm trying to describe to you like it was no one's surprise when you go to see a band. Dude, they played at the Spectrum for goodness sakes.
Yeah,
But
that's not like it. That doesn't make it better that
I
they
know,
got to the spectrum. How the fuck did these guys get to the spectrum? I don't get it.
dude.
Oh my God, it's
They,
killing me. This,
so I mean,
you know what? I am offended that you brought these guys up. These guys, oh my God. Yo, hold on. I got another song for you.
go
I
ahead.
Dream of Jesus.
Oh, I know,
Stop it.
I know.
Stop it.
Oh,
I
dude.
finally opened the bottle that my mom said Jesus was in, and then I got a wish and I used it to go to prom with this girl.
So,
Fuck you, dude.
dude, thank you for saying that. But
Oh my God.
okay, so I'm bringing it up at the absurdity of music. I was just like, you have to. So what I'm trying to express to you is, it was so normalized when we go down to the TLA, you go down to some other venues in Philadelphia, you go down to the Tower Theater, and it's extremely exaggeratory that they played at the Spectrum. Of course, every weirdo plays on a Warped Tour back in the day, but this
Yes.
was such a regular thing. And I mean, they were quite honestly there. There was one time I saw them at the Tower Theater, and they're like talking to the audience, and they're like they would ask for audience members to like say a word or say like a phrase, and they would make like a song out of it. It was completely goofy. It was so bizarre, but in a weird sort of way, Zach. It was like, Dead Milkmen. Like it was just like normal. Like, we're gonna hear like Bitchin' Camaro and Big Lizard in my backyard and Punk Rock Girl, and the weird thing is like even when they went on MTV and they went like they describe as popularity and internationally, they were all identified as a Philly band, and
Which,
that
yeah, I like that. But
I don't
also,
like it.
I don't like that they're associated with Philly.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck,
But
these guys sound like they're from the backwoods of Virginia or something. Mars. I where
I think Joe Gennaro's from Westchester, so that could be like backwoods-esque.
Great Westchester.
Which I
No,
mean,
these
quite
guys,
honestly, like you got to identify, like MTV was huge. There was no internet. Like 88, 89,
you're
you
trying to make the point, and it's not.
it's like you turn MTV on. You had like Metallica. I mean,
They
you
were
had like
fillers. They needed filler bands to when
boom, and there's
when people were cleaning the fucking kitchen, or to give them time to clean the kitchen. They put on the Dead Milkmen.
oh yeah,
Oh, dude,
it was
so this sounds this sounds like, to me, in my head, when I listen to this band, it sounds like the Aquabats and Blink
okay.
182 meshed together. It sounds like they're
You're giving it
Blink
too much. You're giving it
182's
you're
dumbass old 80s lyrics.
90s.
The Aquabats just goofy, dude.
Dude, I mean, so like there's like 200 top songs, that like they display as like the popularity version of songs at the time. They were 110 with Punk Rock Girl across the country, like including like all these, just basically. So people liked it, Zach. I'm not saying that I did. I'm just glad that I brought it up because you're gonna hit me with a golf ball like next time I see
I
you.
thought you liked it. Now, are you just trying to hold on? Are you trying to backtrack here? I think you're a Dead Milkman fan,
No,
Timmy.
I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm
Oh,
not. It's
no,
just
no,
it
no,
was
no,
I was trying to
no.
express to you the
Here he goes. Here he goes, folks.
uh
Here he goes.
the
He brings up
familiarity.
the Dead Milkman every week, and
I
then he wants to talk about him. He's not a
you
fan. Here we
you
go.
everybody can watch our past episodes. There's maybe one
Okay, good.
time, maybe
We'll
two that I
put
brought up
we'll
Dead
put a Dead
Milkman.
Milkman
I,
counter.
I prefer Dead Kennedys to the Dead Milkman for goodness sake. You want to talk
Yeah,
about it?
I feel like everybody would.
Of course, you talk about hardcore punk band. Dead Kennedys are freaking hardcore, and these guys weren't. I brought it up for the goofiness of
Dude,
freaking music. There's some really, real. I mean, we can dance when you want to. All like. There's a
you're gonna
ton.
put the safety dance in the Dead Milkmen
Can you
category?
name me another song by that band?
Stop.
Okay, okay.
No. And
It's
that's the point. No, well, hold on. You could name one song, Safety Dance, right?
Men Without Hats had a
Yeah.
couple other songs.
Okay, but the majority of people could name one song. Could the majority of people name one song by the Dead Milkmen?
If you're living in Philadelphia, yes, they could.
God.
At my age, they could bitch in Camaro, big lizard in my backyard. They could
All
totally
right, so
bitch.
everybody in their 80s can name something from the Milkmen.
Zach, I take offense to that. It's only gonna be 28 years before I turn 80. You dick.
Dude, no, so initially I thought you were a fan. And the last couple days I was like, are you fucking kidding me with this?
No, no. So,
Dude,
what I wanted to exemplify in the identification of this song and band is like they had you're saying 110 is not all that popular, but
well, no, it is,
but
which is crazy that they got to
crazy.
110.
And Zach, you gotta take a 40-year step back and like on MTV, they were on there on a multi-daily basis with Punk Rock Girl. And they and everybody was starting to associate these guys with Philadelphia and boom, like it is crazy to me. Like at the time when I was in my 20s even or teenage years, like it was just normal to like go see a band or your favorite band and Dead Milkmen was open up and you're like, "Oh, cool, Dead Milkmen." And they're like, I don't know, because they're like from Philly and you knew the songs and like, "Oh, I wonder if they're gonna play Big Lizard in My Backyard or Bitchin' Camaro or like whatever."
I
And it
guess
was
at this point, when you're not a fan, the equivalent to me is the Lonely Island.
okay.
Andy Samberg,
Yeah.
the comedy like Dick in a Box.
Yeah.
I ate that shit up back in the day, but it was like comedy, like supposed to be funny,
That's a
but I
very
don't think it's the same thing.
that's a
I
very
think
good
there's a little bit of serious in these
oh,
guys' eyes.
no, no, no. I think you're describing it very well and different like kind of types of entertainment. These guys knew how freaking goofy they were and how
So did they.
I know, but you're going to see them and you're so used to seeing them and you're like freaking and sometimes you're
So
like
it would be like if Secret Service was dog shit.
yeah.
Played every weekend down the shore at Sea Isle at the
Yeah.
Ocean Drive,
Look at
and
you.
everybody just
Look at
went down
you.
to listen to. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But they went down to listen to punk rock. Like, okay, you've been doing it for 100 years. Okay,
They
keep going to see them.
so
Like,
I mean it was like strangely interesting and I mentioned something like including the audience earlier and they used to sit there and like ask for a word that started with a specific letter and they would go boom and then like anybody like see like boom and
you
then
did mention something like that. So
yeah they
they
would
used to like
play a
ad lib
song.
songs.
Oh my gosh, on a regular basis and it was like in my opinion it was very definitional to punk rock because they didn't care and they would play these weird songs and then everybody was expecting to hear like Bitchin' Camaro and Big Lizard in My Backyard and of course Punk Rock Girl and I mean there was like a weird like rumor in the 90s like they were like oh yeah screw that song I'm never playing that song because it was too popular. It was like in Rolling Stone magazine we're like we're never playing that again, it was too popular for us. It
Was it
was
Punk Rock Girl? Because they should have never played that again.
that's the song I'm talking about. They're never gonna play Punk Rock Girl again because it was too
Good.
popular for them. And that was easily their most melodic song that they came out with. But Zach, the big thing was it was like in my mind, it was so used to me and my buddies and friends to go, they're opening up for X, Y, and Z. And it's
So
like,
here's the thing. So going into like their later years, listening to their early stuff, it was produced, but for lack of a better word, unproduced.
right. And I think they
It
wanted it
had
that
that
way.
it had that grungy sound to it. And then they signed what, 95 or 96? They signed with Hollywood Records.
And
The
they
sa the
only had one
sound
album with
got better.
Hollywood. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought too.
I think they only. I mean, I thought it was only one because it was like
Well,
they failed.
well, yeah, the one flopped, but
Yeah,
the sound was better. But this is a band to me where you get screw all the stuff that the hating on that I've did. They had a good sound. They could play the instruments, the lead singer, whatever, take him out. But when they went to Hollywood Records, the lead singer sounded better, but it did nothing for him. The band got worse, and the lead singer's like overproduction made him sound a little better. But dude, even after that, I don't see it. I don't see anything to it. I don't see any vision. I don't see any. I
so
hate these guys.
so like you so take a step back and just like goofy young.
And fuck your own face. That's from Tropic Thunder, by the way. I said that a couple weeks ago, but here we go.
Yeah, it was just like I'm getting into like alternative music. I'm getting into like punk rock and stuff, and I'm in like the mid '80s, and it was like it was almost like a rebellious idea. Is everything okay? Is the puppy there? Okay.
Not bad.
Uh,
Good.
so it was like they were so out there, even in the Philadelphia music scene. It was like, at 16, 17 years old, you're like, you could tell your friends that you went to go see Dead Milkmen. because they had such that reputation as complete weirdos. And you're like, trying to like branch out. I mean, that was pretty much the the goal. I don't want to say goal might be too strong, but you're like, oh yeah, I went to go see Dead Milkmen on South Street like last weekend. Oh yeah, and nobody was gonna ask you like, what song did they play or like where were they good? Like they were so darn outside of normalcy. Like they could pretty much play anything, and it's crazy. And the one of the funny things that stuck out to me is like one of the founding members from Joe in like Chester County. Uh, he went into the Air Force and like never came back. Like pretty much disassociated himself with the Dead Milkman.
Do that.
No, I mean, he was a pretty smart guy, but I mean, the takeaway for me from these freaking goofy asses is that like I mean, they played so much in Philadelphia. You saw, I mean, I was so used to going to concerts and Dead Milkman. It's not like I'm rushing in there to see them, and like. I mean, I knew it was going to be argumentative, but man, dude, you gave me a hard time here. I appreciate it.
These guys, this is by far the worst band that we've talked about on this show. By
Nice.
far.
Perfect.
These guys are terrible. But can I get a count on how many times you've seen them live?
At
Do you
least,
have a count? And why did you show up for the opener?
I mean, I've probably been to a
You
con.
saw him once. You could say you saw him once, but
No,
why'd you show up for the additional
I've
45 times?
seen them 6 times, and but I wasn't like I'm probably grabbing beers to go into like a specific. It's
Keeping
not like
yourself
the
occupied.
one. I mean, there was probably one or two times where I actually watched them like in my seat area or
Two?
whatever. Yeah, but
Did you
I
say
was.
two? You saw them once and you said, I want to sit down in my seat and watch them again?
Because
Wow.
they they were you know what, here's a weird corner weird sort of like thought process. They were pretty good like showmen. They were like funny and like
Well,
goofy
yeah.
and
Like you said, they were probably like they pandered to the crowd a little bit, but then they
yeah.
ad-libbed a little bit. They probably should have just stuck to the ad libs, and that's what it sounds like they did for their fucking albums. Like it sounds like they didn't even proofread the. Yeah, oh my God.
uh, all right, Zach, man,
Dude,
this
these
is
guys
my this is
infuriate me.
this is my favorite episode of the entire series. Number 22. This is the best. I'm so
These guys
glad.
infuriate me.
Punk rock girl, me a punk rock girl. We'll name her Minnie Pearl. Just you and me, punk rock girl.
Did you guys get that?
Last
You should probably
Saturday, I
look them
took
up.
a
Yeah,
walk to
it's a great.
Zipper Head. All right, Zach. I am both very, very happy and apologetic at all at the same time. So you are the freaking best co-host ever. Would you like to change the subject real quick for us, please? Thank you. And give a little preamble to next week's show that we're going to record. What are your thoughts about that?
Next week we're gonna have ourselves like
A guest again.
we're gonna have another guest.
Oh,
It's another corner boy,
hashtag
maybe
Corner
one of the
Boys.
boys.
Everyone needs to strap themselves in for next week's episode.
We're gonna have a guest and a half. Let's say a guest and a furry guest. I
Oh,
hear I hear there's gonna be a furry boy on his lap.
there we
Well, you know what?
go.
I'm very curious as to which song he's gonna bring.
Me too. Me too. Me too.
Because he's smack in the middle of our ages, isn't he?
He is about 9 years younger than me.
He's like 40, mid
Three?
40s.
43.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
And I'll tell you right now, for our listening audience and our viewers, and Zach can back me up here, he's got to say the word PIG at least twice.
we're gonna have a pig counter. We're gonna have a pig counter right up in the corner, right by his pretty little face. So it's gonna be a good episode next week. You never know
Uh,
what it's gonna bring.
dude, this is my favorite episode ever.
Yeah. This was high energy. I don't think I've ever screamed on an episode.
It's the,
I
it's
got
a,
real loud.
it's the most F words I've heard from either one of us.
Oh, man. What do you mean either one of us? You didn't say one. You didn't say one. You know what?
You just made me
That's the
snort.
goal. That's the goal is to get Timmy to say the word. The word. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We're gonna keep this going until he says it. But hey, follow us on everything. Let me social media plug you.
Right
Follow us
on.
on Instagram, YouTube. I just posted something on Facebook too. Follow us
Wow.
on there
Yeah.
and have a day with us. You know, sorry, Bob Does Sports. I don't mean to copyright you, but hey, um, big guest next week, Timmy. This was, oh man, I thought you were a fan of these guys.
Negative Johansson.
I'm happy we cleared that up because we were going to have an issue.
Yes, sir.
Have a big issue.
Oh my God, no. It
But
was
hey, great show.
absolutely, sir. Hey, YMZ, and to our audience, we appreciate you. Adam, babe.